Hi, in this session we're going to talk about non-monetary payoffs and how to take those into account when you're figuring out whether it's worthwhile doing a deal or not. Now, the non-monetary payoffs go to the difference between value and utility. Utility is non-monetary, value is monetary. Sometimes a non-monetary payoff is pretty easy to convert into a monetary one, as we saw with externalities. Sometimes they're easy also to convert. Let me give you an example. I'm licensing something to you. You're going to use it in a product line. And after a while of using it, after a while you take a look and you say, gee, there's a real synergy. If I build up my product line here, it will have positive benefits for the rest of the stuff I am selling or for specific stuff I'm selling. Goodwill is an example of that in our last discussion. I'm Toyota, or I'm Chevy. I sell a very environmentally conscious car. People say, that company, they're pretty good for the environment. I'm an environmentalist. I'm more inclined to buy other of their products because I like the company in general. So that's an example of a synergy that has a monetary impact. There's another kind of impact you might see, and that's called Hawthorne effects. These come after, it's named after the Hawthorne study. I believe it was done in I'm trying to remember, I think it was a General Electric factory. But what they did was they went in and they were trying to understand how to increase productivity, and they trained the workers and they did something, and productivity shot up, and after a while it started to level off and went back to where it was before. And I said, gee, that's weird. And then they discovered something interesting. Really didn't matter what they did. They went in, painted the walls, productivity shot up for a while and then leveled off. They went in, played music, productivity shot up and then it leveled off for a while. The examples may not be right, but the basic story is correct. The point being that it was paying attention to people that shot the productivity up, and when they started realizing that this was old hat, then it started to level off again. Now, when you bring in and you do a deal, there may be a Hawthorne effect that happens in a variety of ways, or something analogous to a Hawthorne effect. New technology may increase job satisfaction. It may increase employee retention. One reason universities do technology transfer is because they want to encourage the faculty to remain at the university. There's another reason they do it as well. There's mission relevance. The mission of a university is to create and disseminate knowledge. So by transferring the technology out, you're helping to meet the mission of the university. These are non-monetary impacts, although they're to some extent convertible. It costs us money to train new workers. On the flip side, if faculty don't leave and they're tenured, we can't replace them with younger people who are cheaper. So, but it's harder to sort of calculate some of these non-monetary impacts. At the far end of the scale, so we have a scale, easy to convert, harder to convert. At the far end, there's things like life. I'm a survivor of a bone marrow transplant. I had my bone marrow transplant in 1989. I can calculate the cost of the bone marrow transplant. I can go to actuarial tables or look at my income and do a discounted cash flow and see what my value is to the economy and put a number on that. But none of that really comes up to what my value is to my wife, my children, or my cat down. Sorry, Penny, or my cat down here. You know, for them, it's not really a monetary issue. So on that far side, we have non-monetary payoffs that are very hard to convert into money. So now we end up with this multidimensional payoff issue, and we want a rational way to include it in our payoff calculation. Here's my advice. First, you calculate the cash payoffs. Then you convert what you can convert into cash payoffs that are easily converted. Basically, as we saw a while back, we can convert a utility into a value by asking, is there a bundle of goods and services that will create the same amount of satisfaction or happiness as this item that I'm looking at now, or this experience I'm looking at now? If that's the case, I can value that bundle of goods and services, and thus I can add that to the payoffs. And finally, when I get done moving everything over that I can move over, I'm left with this residual category. Now I can do preference scales. I can say this is more important than this is more important than this. These are like analytical, hierarchical procedure or other ways of doing trade-offs. I can't necessarily say how much more important they are, but I can say it's more or less. And essentially what I suggest is this. Once you calculate all the cash values, you take a look at the options for the strategies that you have and for the choices you have for the payoffs, and rank order them in terms of their non-monetary values, and you use that to adjust the payoffs. Well, I can hear people coming up the stairs, so I'll end here and we'll start again in a little while.